Dakota is fucking happy as hell. Happy pissed. Trigger delighted.
All right, go.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
This is going to be 6 Squad Pod.
Hello, what have we here?
These guys are so funny.
Hello.
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
Looking. Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron Podcast. My name. Guys, this is going to be 6 Squad Pod. Both of us are feeling under the weather, but we're going to get through it. What's going on?
You still never said who you were.
I'm Mopar.
I am Commander Cody.
Mopar and Commander Cody here with you. Episode 118. I always like doing that. That's just for me.
Just so you remember where we are.
Well, it just keeps me in line, and it's, it hits the feels a little bit, 118 episodes in, it's like our baby. It's like a baby. It's 4 years old. It's going on 4, right? 4 years.
January.
In January. So we're quickly coming up to our 4-year anniversary. So, yeah, it's moving along.
It's been some shit.
If you guys are checking us out for the first time, which you're not, because all we have is repeat customers. That's all we got. But you guys, if you're just listening to the podcast on any of your major streaming apps or programs or whatever, you guys can catch us live. We've been recording Sunday nights. You guys can head on over to YouTube and subscribe to us, Rogue Squadron Podcast. And that way, it'll give you a notification when we do go live. So you can message us, as a lot of Danguses do. And then there's like one gentleman. I don't know which one it is. They can battle it out for the the title of the one gentleman.
Forgot to say also, I'm Commander Cody, and this is Commander Cody.
We do want to. We're gonna be well. Why don't you just hold it up here and
which one?
Not the Commander Cody. The prize we're gonna be giving away.
So we got exclusive from HasCon, the new Black Series Captain Rex.
I almost like the box more than the actual...
the box. Yeah, it's sick. And it's got like this fucking, I don't even know what this is on the back. But it looks cool. And it slides out. Got the camera all backwards and shit. But yeah, okay. I got an extra copy of the clone Captain Rex. I got mine out of the box. You can see him here.
Dakota said, don't look at it. It's mine.
Dakota has dibs. But my favorite part about this, everyone knows Rex from the Clone Wars and Rebels, but this actually has Tamara Morrison's face. It's Jango from episode 2, old style.
Yeah, that's cool.
He looks awesome. That's
cool that you can actually pull the helmet off too, because a lot of these things is just like a solid suit.
And he's got in his little holsters, he's got his pistols, he's got this gun, and he's got another gun, and this fancy little robe shit happening. It's a really, really well done figure. And it's movable too. Like even like the fucking ankles move side to side. Like there's a lot of joints on this thing. So it's a good one. Like I said, HasCon exclusive, so it's somewhat rare. Nabbed 2 of them, luckily. So we'll be giving that away. What?
Well, episode 119. So what's next Sunday's date here?
Next Sunday. So that'll be October 8th.
Yep, October 8th. So if you guys want to be in the running for that, join us live October 8th. We'll call it, you want to do 7:30?
Yes, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
7:30 Eastern Time.
Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, because you have to be live. We're going to pick from everyone that's live on the show, so make sure you definitely subscribe. You get the notification. You can pop in. We can get a view of the chat room, and then we'll pick a winner at random.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited for that. I'm actually pretty surprised. I know the Black Series have, across the board, are usually higher quality, but I know for The Last Jedi, there was a couple under quality. Do I want to say?
Yeah, I mean, like we were going over when we went out for Force Friday, me and Tommy Boy, they're hit or miss for me. And there's some people out there that collect literally every Black Series figure because, they're higher quality than like the smaller toys and whatever. And they are, but there's some that just based on the character or how they did it just don't look that great. So I'm very particular about the ones that I get. But I'm all about the clones. So I had to get me some Rex.
Also, so I was in town last weekend for the drunk ass podcast episode that we did with the four of us.
Best episode ever. If you haven't heard that, go back with Lord Kerner in the house. Episode 117 was awesome.
So yeah, we did that whole nonsense and everything, and of course Mopar forgot his headphones. So I guess it doesn't affect you guys if you're just listening, but yeah, if you guys are watching, I left my headphones back in Columbus. So.
It's okay, as long as you can hear me, it doesn't matter.
That's all that matters, because I don't want to hear shit from anybody else.
Exactly. You don't have to hear the chat room, so it's okay.
So what do we got for the patrons? While you're looking that up, guys, we do have a Patreon page.
What do we got?
We appreciate I know we took in their goddamn dataries today because I got a notification that I gave my money up today. So if you guys are fans of the podcast, loving the podcast, and want to support us in any which way you can, head on over to patreon.com/RogueSquadPod.
Do it.
And any little bit, $1, $2, $5. I mean, well, whatever you guys feel that you can just forget about. I mean, a monthly thing. Come on, $2.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way for us. So we definitely do appreciate it. And we're not just doing this for us. We love to hear back from you guys. So outside of the Patreon stuff, reach out to us. I know some people are starting to come out of the woodwork, and it's awesome. We love hearing from you guys. And even if it's something that like, hey, Mopar's a jackass because Star Wars is definitely science fiction. No, and that's awesome. So, just reach out to us. You can email us or DM us. It's Rogue Squadron Podcast at Gmail. That's where most of our drunken emails and drunken messages come from anyways. So I'm done ranting and raving.
Do it. Dakota was asking me about this Chewie that I have. This is the 6-inch Black Series from Force Awakens when it came out. That line, that was 2 years ago. Cool find. Chewie's one of my favorites. He was my favorite for a while before Commander Cody. So, and then I had to, take up the mantle of the clone with my name. So
I am scared for Chewbacca's
demise.
Continuance, yeah.
Yeah, if they kill him off, I'll be super sad.
I have a feeling they're not only going to take Chewie out, whether it's in 8 or 9, not only Chewie, but the Falcon's going to get destroyed. I feel like they're going to start clearing, like burning out all the dead wood, like just getting rid of people and moving shit forward.
Yeah, I think
because if they don't, I think the people are going to be outraged. But I think it still makes sense for Chewbacca because of his species, and he can be like 300 years old, so it still does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, he should be on like a manhunt for Kylo Ren. Like he should. He should be pissed in The Last Jedi, trying to get revenge for Han.
I recently watched the Force Awakens after we were ranting and raving about it last. I had it episodes.
On today, yeah.
I'm getting more and more pissed about it, but it is still my favorite.
The one thing that I really is unforgivable is the fact that they did the Death Star thing again. Like when people complain about that, I get it. And
no, it's way beyond that. Like little things, like the Wrath Tars, and when Finn gets pulled by the Wrath Tar, I'm what my mind goes straight to is
the trash
compactor,
yeah,
and Luke getting taken away. I'm like, dude, if we line this stuff up, it's probably the exact same movie. They're just using different aliens and different.
But that's not as egregious as another giant sphere of death.
Yeah,
to me, that's the one that. And like I said last episode, not only is it a giant sphere of death, it's like 20 times the size, and it's a planet, and it moves from galaxy to galaxy and sucks up the sun. It's a little outrageous, but
I don't even understand how it moves.
I still don't believe it or get it.
I don't even understand how it moves. Like, how do the Death Stars move?
Well, they have hyperdrives and shit. They can travel. But if it's a planet, I don't know how the planet can move. That doesn't make sense. And it also wouldn't make sense if they built that giant Star Killer death machine on a planet that's in one system that can't move and just got one use out of it. Doesn't make any sense either. I need JJ to explain it to me.
Yeah. Shoot us an email whenever you get a chance. What is his real name? like
John
Justin
Jacobs,
Jackson.
Jingleheimer, Smith, Abrams.
Oh dear God! Don't let Mopar make something up. It's gonna go off the rails. All right, guys. As we do every episode, we'll jump into our beer review. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling.
Cracking it open with our new bottle opener from Tugboat Chump out of Alaska and Washington, depending on if he's on call or not.
I'm doing it with my Lighthouse bottle opener from Prince Edward Island, up in Nova Scotia.
So, I was sick earlier in the week, and I got kind of drunk on Friday. I felt terrible yesterday. I probably shouldn't be drinking this right now. But for the good of the podcast, I will have some beer.
For the good of the pod.
I got it.
Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I got it kind of thinking that it's a little outrageous. So if I don't like it, I'll just fuck it and pour it out. But if I do, maybe I'll get a little bit giggly out of it.
Mopar is getting triggered.
I'm getting triggered. I'm getting triggered from the label. This is from Knee Deep Brewing Company. It's called the Simtra.
Did you already pour it out?
I poured it, but I haven't smelled it yet.
The Contra.
Simtra, the Contra, the Galactic Ale. It's a triple IPA. It's 11%, 11.25%, and 131 IBUs. So I am going to die for the good of the podcast.
Mopar's just breaking out the standard Deschutes Pale Ale. It's their Mirror Pond. 5% alcohol. We're going fucking average over here. And 40 IBUs. Deschutes is out of Bend, Oregon. Now, I don't know. All of our Patreon members have seen and are a part of a like a private chat with us.
Yeah.
And this weekend, I was showing off the refrigerator and how stocked it is.
Stocked, Georgie.
So I literally have like 50 craft beers that I can choose from. We've got everything from the Voodoo Ranger to, there's like 4 different Trogs in there. There's 3 different Great Lakes. There's 4 different Deschutes in there. And then there's Citradelic also is in there
Nice.
And I do have a Miller Lite left too. So
Always
I got
gotta have a
options.
Miller Lite on stock. Yeah. Awesome.
It's kind of weird, like going in, because it's like every time you and I go to a brewery or even, a bar, we stare and we're like, I don't know what I want, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing that every time I open a goddamn refrigerator. I just stare. I'm like, that looks good.
Yeah.
That's 110%. So I don't feel like doing that. And it's like 11 a.m. But
Dakota asked really quick, how old is Chewy? Chewy's birthday is 200 BBY. So by the time of episode 7, he's like 240. And he also said that this label looks 3D on the camera.
I thought he was talking about mine because mine keeps adjusting. So it looks like it's half cross-eyed and shit.
No,
all
mine
right, guys.
is the hops on this label are actually printed like a 3D looking thing, but
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay. I get it.
smells like the most bitterest thing ever.
Mine smells like an extra bitter pale ale. This isn't an IPA.
I don't know why I put myself through this stuff. Just for you guys.
For the good of the
Just
podcast.
for you fuckers.
It's entertaining when Commander or Mopar gets fucking hammered. Ooh, okay. Commander's wincing
Oh my
already.
God. It's just like liquid alcohol and hops. That's it. That's all that's there. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, you want me to start?
That was a little dramatic, but yeah, go ahead. Let me have this again.
Mine doesn't mine doesn't taste like a standard pale ale. I hate to be breaking out fucking Lord Kerner over here. Standard pale ale. But it really
Indian
doesn't.
pale ale. And he always says Indian pale ale.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking jackass.
There's something in this that I can't put my finger on. Yeah, it's kind of throwing me for a loop.
Can you put your
I feel like
on it?
pale ales all have like a standard taste, and then you can add to that. This one is kind of like off in left field, I guess. It's not, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's not hitting my taste expectations.
Taste expectations.
My taste expectations.
Yeah, this is just like really strong. And it's one of those strong beers that they didn't hide the alcohol very well. It's one of the warm chest feelings because it's so much alcohol in it. What have I got myself into?
So this is Best Buy. So this is expired. That's no, and that's the bad thing.
That's the worst thing to find out. Like, this is not that great. Oh, it's expired. Fuck.
Well, and to be fair, that's why my refrigerator stocked so much, because the stuff that we can buy on discount or get for free is the stuff that can't sell anymore. So if it's like within a month of expiration, they give it away or they sell it real cheap, because there's no point in shipping it to another county and having them try to sell it. So
you know what's annoying about this is it says not meant for aging. Enjoy this fresh, because some strong beers you're supposed to age them. But it says not to age it, but then it doesn't have a date on it. So I don't know if it's expired or not. I looked all about. There's no fucking date.
Well, as it sits there, it's getting older and older, so you better chug it up.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
You better drink it down.
Not doing it.
Drink it up, drink it.
Yeah, like I said, it's a triple IPA from Knee Deep. It's the first thing I've ever had by Knee Deep.
So where are they out of?
Auburn, California.
Okay.
So yeah, but for those of you that couldn't see it, it's in one of the big tall boy. I don't know what these have a name. It's
like
it's a pint 6. But yeah, those tall. Yeah, that's what it says. 1 pint 6, so 22 ounces.
It's like a 1.6, but 1 pint 6.
One of those big, like Arrogant Bastard style bottles. But anyways, yeah, like I said, it's really, really bitter and it's really, really strong. So like the strength of it overwhelms the flavor. So yeah.
1 pint 6. That's not even a 40, so it's like a half 40.
Yeah, it's 22. 22 ounces.
Okay.
It's not that great. It's not the worst thing ever, but man, when it's that strong and it's 137 IBUs, the scale is only supposed to go to 100. So what the hell, guys?
1.6 is 25.6 fluid ounces, actually.
Sorry, it's not 1.6 pints. It's a pint 6 ounces.
Okay.
A pint 6. Sorry, I was 16 plus 6. Fuck you guys. Trying to get Confusion Squad pod going on.
Confusion. Oh my god.
All right, we
I
got
think Mopar is going to be faring a lot better than Commander.
Probably, but I only have one of them, luckily. So
I got 44 of them.
I saw the fridge. Stacked. I'm gonna go a solid 1. It's outrageous, but if you're in for something extreme on a particular night, go for it. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing you'll ever have, but it's way too strong to be drunk frequently. So, at your own risk, as it were.
It does have a profile description here. A crisp, single hop pale ale with floral and citrus notes from 100% Cascade hops and a smooth caramel malt character. Now, I always say caramel unless they're talking about beer and it's caramel.
Caramel.
I don't get any of that, so I think it's just rotted ass at this point. And to be fair, I even, usually you can still taste what they were going for. The stuff isn't blended that well. I'm going to give this one as a 1 as well.
That's unfortunate to hear because Deschutes has been like really solid.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is I don't think Deschutes is one of my favorites, and it's always been like a very solid 2 across the board, and maybe like a handful have been 3s. But yeah, I'm not impressed with this Mere Pond Pale Ale.
I was talking last episode and probably the week before that I was meaning to get that new Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest.
Yeah. What are you going to say about it?
They put out the new one every year. Well, I had that actually earlier in the week. I couldn't wait another fucking week to record before I could have it, so I bought it. It's really good. Every year it's been fucking solid since we had it in 2015 with Next Time back in the old house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting that thing every season. It's awesome. So I recommend that. Sierra Nevada, they do a custom one with a collaboration with an actual German brewery They do an Oktoberfest. It's a new one every year, new recipe every year. So go find it. It's good. It's good. We got a voicemail, a gram. Do you want to hear that shit?
Not really, but let's do it.
Not really. Why not really? We so I opened up a voicemail thing for our patrons so they can send us some bullshit. I don't know what this is. I have no preparation. I've never heard this before in my life. Let's run it.
There's no one gonna fucking talk about that Luke and Leia have an older brother. His name is goddamn C-3PO. Fucking pissed.
What?
So Luke and Leia have an older brother named C-3PO.
Named
And,
goddamn C-3PO.
Oh yeah, goddamn C-3PO. And Connor's pissed about it.
He is pissed. Is there an inside joke there that I missed?
He kind of sounds like Mitch Hedberg the way he said the stuff.
That's the first thing I thought too. Is anyone gonna fucking talk about?
There's anything. Hey, and I'm pissed. So,
I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that their older brother, I guess.
you know, that's one thing that I really wish C-3PO wasn't a part of the new saga. To be fair,
He's not in there that much. I'm okay with it. We get a lot more BB-8. Oh, why? This just hit me. Anakin built 3PO. Why did I forget that for half a second?
yeah, that's why they're
Sorry, guys. Fucking 11%.
Thank the maker. That's what he's thanking Darth Vader.
Thank you, Darth Vader. Oh, man. If only he remembered all that shit. Yeah, so that's... Do they know that? I don't think so. Luke and Leia probably have no idea.
You know, that's weird because even in episode 4, Obi-Wan alludes to Obi-Wan alludes to what am I trying to say? R2-D2 says he was owned by Obi-Wan at some point, but C-3PO wasn't a part of that. So it was kind of weird that I don't ever remember owning a droid.
I don't think R2 was even part of that either. He just said it to get Obi-Wan to follow him or something.
That's really weird that Obi-Wan wouldn't remember that, though. That's such a big plot hole.
You think that's just one of the... Oh, that's true. Even he didn't own R2, but he definitely would have remembered him.
He saved him like 12 times in the first fucking 3 movies.
R2 saved everyone. Everyone would be dead if it wasn't for R2. There would be no Star Wars if it wasn't for R2.
Doesn't, in episode 3, like 10 weeks before he says that...
10 weeks?
Yeah, he's like, R2, aim for the buzz droid center eye.
Yeah.
And then, 2 years later, he's like, R2, I ain't never heard of that bitch. I gotta get out of here.
One too many Tatooine fucking wheats at the bar.
Yeah. You burn out them brain cells, the Force gives up on you.
Or maybe he has more Force, but just less memory.
Or less midichlorians and more alcohol.
Yeah, that's what I'd pick.
So what's going on?
Man, just trying to talk like a human again. Everyone can hear.
Talk like a human.
We got fucking space aids and shit.
Space aids.
Well, let's dive into a few things. Let's do some small things. So the main news that we got is a new trailer for... It's not even a trailer. It's like a detailed video about Battlefront 2, which we're all fucking wired up for. Narrated by Finn. And it just goes through all the game modes, the vehicles, heroes, shit like that. And just... They made a point to say so much more than the first Battlefront because they know they fucked it up, which I thought was cool. But yeah, so we got a cool video about Battlefront 2, all the details, and then we got another snippet from the story mode with some cool droid that has Palpatine's face, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's the big thing. So that's coming a little bit later. If you guys haven't heard, The Last Jedi trailer is supposed to premiere Monday Night Football next week. So 8 days from today. 8 days.
Let's walk through the actual get into some details about Battlefront though, because they started releasing different stuff like the list of maps and or planets. They have the entire list of heroes for Battlefront 2.
All right.
And a lot of people are getting kind of pissed, and I'm kind of there.
So, yeah. All right. So, I broke it down by what we've seen so far. They haven't showed us everything. So, the coolest thing is that they're bringing back all eras of Star Wars, which everyone was pissed about from the first one. We've talked about ad nauseum about how annoying it was. So, we have a list of places that we're going to get. The first few are just in campaign mode, but for multiplayer, we have Death Star 2, Kashyyyk, Ryloth, Jakku, Endor, Hoth, Kamino, Starkiller Base, Yavin 4, Mos Eisley, Unknown Regions, which I think is a space battle, Naboo, Takodana, which is Mos Kanata's palace, and Fondor, which I think is another space battle only. So a wide range of things. I'm super psyched to be on Kamino again. That's going to be fucking awesome. Hoth is a classic. Endor is a classic. Death Star 2 is going to be interesting because I saw some footage of them fighting inside the Death Star, which we played in Battlefront 2, but it didn't actually happen in the movie, but that's going to be cool to see. Just run around the fucking Death Star base, attacking people. So we have things from all three eras, but the heroes that we've seen so far is Rey, Darth Maul, Kylo Ren, Boba Fett, Han Solo, Luke, Leia, and Yoda. So if you paid attention in that list, the only people from the prequel era right now are Maul and Yoda. And then
Obi-Wan? There's no Obi-Wan?
Not that we've seen yet. So they haven't given everything away. They've only given about half of them away, is the ones that I just listed off. And then the first DLC is going to include Finn and Captain Phasma. But prequel era, like we've seen, the whole footage that we saw from E3 and from Gamescom was that giant battle on Naboo. So it was pretty much all prequel shit right there. And then they threw in Rey just as the hero, which was cool. But for the only heroes that we've seen from the prequel era to be Maul and Yoda, that's just unforgivable. Now, I know they're going to be releasing DLC, so I'm hoping, like, if we go through this game and don't have Anakin Skywalker, that's unforgivable. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're gonna have to be pumping out DLC like crazy for this shit.
They have the Emperor, but they don't have Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, they do have the Emperor too. That's another one I forgot to list.
The Emperor, Darth Vader.
I haven't seen Vader, actually.
That's what it says here. Multiplayer mode. So I've got a different list probably. Rebel heroes: Chewbacca, Luke, Leia, Han.
Yeah.
The Resistance. They've got Rey, Finn, and Poe.
Really? That can't be right. We're almost at the list of 14. I'm going off of the ones that we've actually seen in the gameplay and in that trailer. But there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen or who they're going to include. But I did see the Emperor, so I'll put that one on the list. Now, there are different heroes for... there's hero starfighters, too. So we have Han in the Falcon, Boba in Slave 1, Maul in his Sith Infiltrator, Poe in the Black One X-Wing, and Kylo in his new motherfucking badass TIE Silencer. And we also saw Yoda in a Jedi Starfighter. So we got a good glimpse, about half the Starfighter heroes and half of the actual heroes that we're going to see. They need to... all the missing heroes right now need to be prequel era. We need Obi-Wan and like Count Dooku.
Grievous.
Anakin. I'd love to have Qui-Gon in the game. That's a kind of a stretch. The problem with this is that they just have... There's 40 years of Star Wars now. There's so much stuff that they could do. They have to be... I understand they have to be kind of particular, but I mean, there's some big names missing from that list right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Just hoping they do it right, because I really have a bad feeling about this. That it's just gonna be the first Battlefront just with a couple more characters, and they're gonna be like, hey, $80 more. See ya.
No, I don't have that fear, because from what we've seen, the details on the map modes and the new classes and things like that, it's not gonna be like that. Maybe I just don't want to wait. Maybe I'm just impatient. Dakota is saying, you think they're going to have the hangars and the ship interiors in the space battles? That would be awesome. I've seen some gameplay of the Starfighter Assault, and they didn't have any of that. You just spawned in a ship, kind of like in the first one. So I don't think so. That'd be cool. And then he also says, yeah, they're going to hold everything cool for the fucking DLC. Which I get. At least it's going to be free this time. Scrigoda drones. But no. I just, I want the prequel stuff right away. The cool thing is that they can continually add stuff as the movies comes out, you know? Like episode 8 is going to come out. We're going to get some extra shit. Han Solo.
Who are they going to add? Snoke?
I don't know.
Bathrobe Snoke. Here
I don't
he
know.
is.
We haven't.
He's waterlogged, and you could squeeze him out like a
His
squeegee.
special ability is he just moons everyone, opens his robes.
That's what he looks
fall
like.
over.
Is like a streaker on a football game where he's just
Yeah.
whoop.
Dude, have you seen the picture of what he looks like? What the action figure looks like under the robes?
No.
Oh my god, it's the worst thing in the world. Anyone that is I was tweeting mad shit about it, but Snoke on Black Series robes. I'm gonna try to find this. I'll send it to you. Some people need to go look that up. It was on our Twitter too. It just it's fucked. It's ridiculous. All right, I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you.
All right, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
So one thing that I came across today that really triggered it all. Avatar.
Do we have to get triggered every episode?
They are filming 4 more movies for Avatar.
Wait
Just
a second.
let that set in.
Before we get triggered, pissed, hammer bust. Are we done with the Battlefront?
No, let's keep talking about that.
Because it's a pretty. I want to get through it because it's a pretty intense. What we've seen. I mean, this is the most information we're going to get until the beta comes out next week, and then the game comes out. So yeah. So vehicle wise, one of the cool things we've been yelling about since we played Battlefield is the variety of vehicles and things in ground battles. So we see a bunch of that stuff in the Naboo gameplay that we've seen, Naboo starfighters and the CIS droids and stuff. While the ground battle's going on, they're dogfighting in the air. And then there's walkers and turrets and things like that, which is pretty cool. And as far as the starfighter one goes, they had... So in the first one, they only had two different ships, TIE Fighter and the Interceptor. So in this one, it adds a third. So the Empire has... It was just Rebels versus Empire, so I don't know what the First Order and shit has, but it was TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptors, and TIE Bombers for the Empire, and then A-Wings, X-Wings, and Y-Wings. So pretty much the same type of class on both sides. But adding that extra ship in there makes a big difference. And then, of course, you had the fucking heroes flying in, Boba Fett laying down seismic charges left and right. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's smooth. The space battles across the board, even in like Battlefront 2, the original, even for how good it was difficult to like fly around and actually like shoot down ships.
I've always been terrible at that. Yeah.
So I guess there's a level of I don't know, like you have to learn how to do it. There's a level of gameplay that you have to just understand, because even in like a battlefield, some of the like helicopters and shit, if you're not an ace in that stuff, I mean, it's not going to work.
And then if you are an ace, you're just going to be fucking wrecking people.
Yeah. Well, and then you put out like server info shit that says, don't shoot me down or you'll get kicked.
Yeah, don't win or you're going to get out of here.
You can't get, hey.
I did see some footage of someone was playing as Darth Maul and fighters were like flying in, and he did the throw lightsaber and it actually blew up the fucking ship. As it was like zooming down to like take him out, he just threw lightsaber and just blew the ship right out of the sky. It's fucking crazy.
That's some Mopar straw shit.
Exactly. Yeah, now you're going to be Darth Maul running around throwing your lightsaber in the air over and over again, trying to get it. The biggest thing that we were waiting for as Battlefield fans is the classes, and that's back. Thank God. I think that alone is going to add such a difference.
Can I choose on where I spawn? Because fuck the partner shit.
That's true. And I hope I don't know yet, but I hope there's actual squads of 5 people like in Battlefield. 4, 5, or 6 or something. Mm-hmm. And different spawn points, command points, and things like that. I have to assume, but I don't really know. I have to find out on Wednesday when the beta comes out. But they got the Assault Heavy Specialist and Officer class, which is cool. And then they changed the... So those stupid little Pokemon cards that you have to pick up, there are still some of those, but there's also ones that you get just by doing well in the game, and you unlock points. and then you can call reinforcements in. Kind of like in Galactic Conquest and the other one, you could get that extra bonus. But these you earn points while you're playing, and then you can call them in. So there's a special unit for every force. So clones have the flame troopers, CIS has the super battle droids, rebels have the Wookiees, and Empire has the death troopers. So you can call them, you can like spawn as a death trooper as like an upgrade or something. Once you're doing well enough, you can call it in.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because that's kind of how it was in the second one. Once you do good enough, the first person to get to X points gets to be Obi-Wan, come in and start wrecking shit, and then the next person does. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm telling you, if they just did Battlefield and put fucking lightsabers in it and put it on Camino, I would have been game for that.
Well, they couldn't do exactly that, but I think we're going to get as close as we possibly can. I did notice when they were like showing the the equipment and the upgrade screens for a specific class, it did remind me of Battlefield a lot. Like there's specific guns for every class. You know, like you can't use a sniper if you're a fucking support or like assault class or whatever. So it did kind of seem like that. You can get specific upgrades for your guns. It was very, it resembled Battlefield in that way, which is good. So just fingers crossed. We'll find out soon. Last thing that
force squad participation. I love the fact, I love and hate it, depending on if I'm alone or not.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Battlefield by myself, I shouldn't be able to win by myself because that's not how you. And for the most part, you can't. So it's a difficult game to play by yourself. But it's rightfully so because you're not going to walk into a war with a goddamn sniper rifle and change the whole fucking war. You need to work together, take shit over, blow up different stuff, and commence through the goddamn. I don't want it to be too close to like Call of Duty, where you can just run in, one guy can get 90 kills, and then it's game over. And you didn't even like see the guy on the map.
Yeah, that's one thing that really sets Battlefield apart is the epic scale of it and how important objectives are and squads and working together and teamwork.
Well, and it's cool because if you're running around like an assault guy, and then you see like a fucking tank roll around the corner, you're like, well, shit. I don't have anything on me to do anything about this.
Yeah.
But that's a cool aspect. It's like limiting, and also it forces you to, either decide to be a different class and or have someone in your group that can handle that situation.
Right.
And that way, hey, I'm gonna target it, run the fuck over here in the corner and hide for my life, and then maybe one of the sniper guys can fucking zoom at it or target it.
And that's where I think they did something really cool with the officer class, which we're going to see, is because they're not very strong. Like it's the fucking British guy in the little felt suit.
It's a support guy. He runs around and helps everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the cool thing is like you can't just spawn as an officer and run into the middle of battle and just dominate. Like that's a part of the class system where you have to work and help your squad doing that shit.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to have any type of spotting because I didn't see anything even near that. And that's one. God, why?
I've never seen that in game before, besides Battlefield 4, and the first one too. But
I love it. It's such a game changer because that makes so much sense. Hey, there's a tank below you, and it's just like, oh shit, there's a tank below me. Now it's on my fucking map, and I can deal with it.
Yeah. I don't know. Cool. It is. Yeah, it's one of the best small features that you don't even think about until you're saving people's lives left and right in the game. So hopefully, I don't know.
It also pisses me off because as I'm trying to sneak around, trying to kill someone will tag me, and then the guy that I'm sneaking around will just turn around and blow my head off. I'm like, dude, how did he know? And it's just like someone else must have fucking tagged me.
Yeah.
Knew I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, so frustrating.
Speaking of Battlefield, Dakota is asking, why do we think Battlefield 1 failed?
I don't think it failed, but it's a much more difficult game. And it's not as fluid. So it's a tad slower, and purposely so. I mean, it's older equipment, it's older vehicles, it's an older time.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense to be a little slower game. Battlefield 4 is so quick. And I with the graphics being so much better, it's going to be somewhat slower regardless. But like I said, I think it makes sense. I don't know. I don't think it failed. I just prefer Battlefield 4, I guess.
I think for us, we talk a lot about when you pick up certain things at a certain time and it just ends up sticking. Like we found Battlefield, man, it was like probably a week after we started the podcast back in 2014.
Yeah.
And we started playing it then, and then we would have these sessions where like we'd play Battlefield for like 6 hours and then record the podcast, and it just kind of like, I don't know, it tied it in, and we were playing it like multiple times every single week. We poured so many hours in that thing so quickly. So I think it was a timing issue as well. And I was into like 6 different games when Battlefield 1 came out, so I couldn't devote the time to really learn the game and get good at it. And then every time I go back and try to play with like Butterclone and stuff, I just end up getting wrecked, and then I get pissed and I don't even want to play anymore. So,
Dakota says he totally agrees with the fast aspect. He said if Battlefield 4 were any faster, it would be teetering on a Call of Duty. So it's a perfect game as it sits.
It is a perfect game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the vehicles are what kind of slow it down too. Because having a vehicle like a tank, you're not going to just like fucking 90 miles an hour, blow something off and 90 miles an hour out. Yeah. It's going to be a slow moving diesel tank. And it's going to slow the whole game down because now you got to take 4 guys to target the goddamn thing, throw a couple mines down, hit it from the back 14 times, and still not blow it up, and then get triggered pissed. But it is kind of, adding those vehicles and having them so integrated into the game. Yeah, almost every map has vehicles, and you have to deal with them not only as a transportation thing to get across the map,
right?
But as an offensive weapon and a defensive thing. If you're running in and shooting people, and then you jump in the tank, you completely change that whole small little battle.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's one thing where I love those fucking assault speeders in Battlefront 1 and 2 that you could get on those maps, like on Naboo or on Maz Eisley. You just get in those little speeders and you can just zoom around and just blow the shit out of things. Like having those back in the game is going to be huge. Like I can't fathom why that wasn't in Battlefront, the new Battlefront 1. But yeah, having that back in there is gonna really change like how like the flow of battles and stuff in the game.
And like I said, the smallest little thing can change. You could be chasing a dude. There'd be 4 of you chasing one dude. And he jumps in a goddamn tank. Now, look what the fuck happened. You're all running from the goddamn dude because no one's an engineer. And it can change the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. But they've got to do it right. And what I've seen so far, it looks like they've at least put time and effort into the right things. So
yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the thing that made me really happy is that in that explanation video, they were specifically noting how much more shit it has than the first one, which is good.
Dakota also said he needs to see Mace Windu too.
Yes,
which is major.
Yeah, see, that's they really, if they do it right, they could make this game last like 6 or 8 years. Yeah. Because we got episode 9. It's not going to come out until 2019. And then there's going to be a whole new line of Star Wars stuff that we don't even know about yet. So if they really make a solid game, they could add DLC consistently for a few years to cover every new Star Wars game. They could add Rebels characters in there, whatever the next thing is. If they do another cartoon or a Netflix show or something, they could add that stuff in there. Like if they do it right, they can make it last.
Dude, think about that though. If they started adding like Ezra and shit into Battlefront 2,
there's no reason they shouldn't.
Oh, dude, Asajj.
Yes.
Let's throw some cool fucking people in there.
Yes. Ahsoka. I just want to be Commander Cody on the screen. That's really all I care about.
Honestly, Ahsoka would be fucking badass, and she could be the new Ayla.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's got to be difficult though for them because they know that they could literally add whatever they want because there's so much Star Wars content. But you gotta, I don't know. I think they have to be very, very careful with it, very particular. But yeah, I don't see a reason why they couldn't put out like a Rebels DLC that just throws in Kanan, Ezra, Sabine, Callus, fucking Thrawn, all that shit in there. The Ghost, that'd be sweet, man. See the Ghost on there.
Just the fact that you can be Princess Leia. Why can't you be Tarkin running around with a fucking pistol and shit?
You can the Leia's been in every single fucking game.
It doesn't even make sense. Why is she in battle? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
But she is there, so why don't we throw a Tarkin in or a Thrawn or give someone a goddamn pistol and be the same thing on the bad guys?
Well, they did throw Krennic into the DLC on the first one.
Very true, and that's awesome though, because I did play with him, played as him. Guys, settle the fuck down. I didn't play with him. I played with him, but he had an awesome gun, and I fucking loved the sound of it. I think it was his.
We got Wesker 18 in here talking some shit. What up, man?
Welcome.
One thing that I really thought was a cool addition.
You keep talking. Go grab a beer.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to hear. You have to hear what I'm gonna say, ass face. I'll tell the rest of you guys. Oh, actually, Dakota says you guys aren't into Rockstar games, right? We don't hate them. Our buddy Butterclone is really excited for Red Dead Redemption 2, which we saw the trailer. Actually, I didn't see the trailer. I saw that it came out. I didn't watch it yet. He said the fucking graphics were awesome, but I haven't seen it yet.
What'd you say?
So, Dakota was asking if we're fans of Rockstar and if we saw the Red Dead Redemption trailer. And I said no, but Butterclone's obsessed with it. I've
heard nothing but good things, honestly, from the whole Redemption.
100% good things.
I'm opening it up. So I actually moved on because that beer
bowl
was not tastefully good. So I moved on to the classic Citradelic from New Belgium.
No, that's not the classic Citradelic. That's the lime Citradelic.
Oh, this is the exotic lime one. I was wondering why it was so green.
Fucking
so it is the
in this room
exotic
again.
lime. Exotic lime ale.
Nice.
Let's see here. Enjoy by. This isn't even a fucking date. Enjoy by 32865. Well, that's. I think that's many years from now.
52 years old. It's from 65. I was going to say before you walked away was... Oh, one thing that I thought was badass in Battlefront 1 is when you're doing the hero mode, when Leia's out on the field, you can spawn as a rebel honor guard, as like one of her bodyguards.
Yeah.
And like when Krennic's out there, you can spawn as a death trooper guard. That was really cool. Just a small little feature. And it was only in that one mode, I'm pretty sure.
No, you could do it in a normal battle because if your partner got a hero upgrade, you could join him as a sidekick.
Yeah, those little bodyguard things were fucking sweet. That was a good addition. So hopefully that something like that carries over. But that was one thing that they definitely did right. So that's all the Battlefront multiplayer stuff. We did see another clip from the campaign mode. It was, that red, everyone's probably seen from the trailer, that red droid, its face lights up as Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well, he finally talks. So what happens is, obviously we know the Emperor dies in episode 6. So
Spoiler.
Emperor Palpatine laid out a whole contingency plan if he died. And he has these messenger droids that look like the Imperial Guards in that red. And they have recordings of Palpatine dishing out instructions to his higher admirals and shit. So that's why he's talking to Versio's dad, and it's obviously I'm dead. So these are the next steps for you to carry on the Empire. So this.
Whoa! What if?
Fuck, man.
In that contingency plan, he puts one Snoke in charge.
We could find a lot. So this is going to fill in the gaps between 6 and 7. Not every single gap, but a few gaps.
All the gaps.
A few many gaps. And then I also, so our buddy John said we had word that Ian McDiarmid was hitting the recording studio 6 months ago. He said, could he maybe have a Emperor Palpatine cameo in Rebels? And I thought, now that I've seen this messenger droid shit, that he's probably recording all of his bits for Battlefront.
Bits.
All of his little tidbits. Because these messenger droids are floating around with Palpatine holo recordings on their face, telling people what to do and killing them if they don't fucking follow through with it.
Wouldn't Palpatine's contingency plan just be listen to Vader?
Vader's dead also.
I know, but he doesn't know that when he's making the contingency plan.
He's probably got one for every scenario.
No, that's dumb.
Fuck yeah. If I convert Luke and then I die, here's this one. If I die, Vader doesn't, here's this one. If we both die, here's this one.
Who's he giving this shit to, though?
I don't know.
If he gave that to Vader, Vader would have been oh, he's dead? Yeah, just delete all that shit. I'm just going to take over. That's what he said.
Well, everyone's still loyal to the Empire. And this was what really...
Dakota said execute order 70 or 67. Just kill everybody.
Yeah. This was what made. So, a lot of Star Wars fans are really latched onto Legends now. And a lot of the Legend stuff started post Episode 6. And it revolved around the Emperor's dead and Episode 6 just ends. But that obviously wouldn't be what happens when there's an entire empire that spans the entire galaxy, that has a giant fleet, motherfuckers everywhere. Mopar fell asleep. That's what a lot of that old EU and Legend stuff is based off of. And then people fucking love that shit. So there's a lot of stuff to fill. A lot of gaps to fill. Stuff to fill.
So
Mopar, fill in the gaps.
Fill in gaps. Guys, let me, Legends-wise, or regardless of what happens, when there's a large dictator that dies, usually what fucking happens is it's a fucking struggle, battle, craziness for the next person to get in charge.
Yeah.
So why did the First Order just contingency plan? No, and then what I also thought of is the First Order, and I know we have Order 66. Are they just calling it slightly different? Is it a part of a whole order contingency plan?
That's a good idea.
Is the First Order an actual order that is in line with
the first contingency? Then we have the
yes.
second. It's a good idea. I like that. Also, if you got to think,
Zach Merritt joining us, his phone died.
He's back.
What a dangus.
Sakaris. Okay. All right. So just random speculation theory mode off of that. So he obviously knew that Anakin Skywalker had an offspring, and it was Luke, and he blew up the Death Star. Do you think he was able to be meditating in his fucking throne room or whatever? And do you think Palpatine had any idea about Leia, and also about he would have been dead by that point. Never mind. I'm fucked. My whole thing's gone.
But I mean, it's kind of playing off of everything that you just said. He would have a contingency plan with it for everything.
I was just trying to tie in. Is there any way that he could have known that Kylo would have came in the future? If he had any sense that Leia was also Force sensitive and would have had a kid, and how does that get tied in?
I think you give Palpatine too much credit for.
I
all
probably
of this.
do. I give Commander Cody the most credit though.
Oh.
What up, Nicole?
Don't. What I'm trying to say is,
say it.
I think that he may have had a contingency plan. Let's just call it a list of 10 things. The First Order was to get the shit together, compile all the fleets, and put someone in charge. Well, what are they in charge? Well, it's in charge of the First Order. We're getting the first thing done off his fucking Sith checklist.
It's an interesting thought, man. I think we'll find out. November or whatever the fuck it comes out.
And I have so much so many questions about Snoke because he's not.
Ask them.
You know what's crazy is we don't even know if Snoke's Force sensitive.
That's true.
He's Supreme Leader Snoke, so he's just a title and he's wrinkly. That's essentially all we know about Snoke.
Doesn't look just wrinkly. It looks like he got fucked up by somebody. Looks like a bear ate him and then spit him back out, and then he survived. Or a fucking rancor got a hold of him and he managed to live.
Wampa. He don't like the snow anymore. He just
He's pissed.
No,
it's a good point. We don't know if he is. He's training Kylo, but he could be well versed in Jedi and Sith knowledge, but not actually Force sensitive himself. It's possible. Like that librarian bitch in the Jedi archives. She knows a shit ton about the Jedi.
Wasn't she Force sensitive?
I don't know.
I thought she was a Jedi.
I thought she was just the library curator.
Well, I thought to be a library curator.
No, I think she fucks around in Clone Wars with the lightsaber. I think I saw that and I was I had douche chills. So I was
defending
this grandma should not be fighting off people to save her books with a lightsaber.
I think it makes sense. I thought everybody in the Jedi Temple had to be a Jedi. You're not allowed entrance unless you got a laser sword.
Well, how are you supposed to feel when you went through Jedi training and now you're the fucking custodian? And you can't go out on missions with Obi-Wan. You have to fucking sweep the floors.
You got to start somewhere.
That's a really expensive fucking cleaning staff. You can't just hire some drunk off the street in Coruscant. You have to get an actual trained Jedi. Where are they getting their money from, by the way? Is there a fucking tax deduction for Jedi? And like, do people in the galaxy pay an extra tax?
Nope. Church and state. Church and state are separated, so the Jedi don't pay a tax.
So they just
I think
go
they're
off
part of
donations.
the Death Sticks gang.
So they just go up.
Give us 10%.
The Jedi
and
the Jedi order is just a front for some drug smuggling ring. That's how they make all their money.
You know, I didn't even think about that too. Why is everything the First Order, the Jedi Order, Order 66? What are these orders, and how can I get some fries?
First Order and a side order of Jedi. No, man, I think we got to the root of things on this episode. The Jedi Order is a front for the Death Stick drug ring on Coruscant, and that's how they make all their money. And they can afford that giant temple and thousands of... How can they afford to go to all the ends of the galaxy and find all the little babies and abduct them and bring them back home?
Just the commercial space on fucking Coruscant alone, the tax has got to be outrageous.
The entire planet's a city. That's like the most expensive place to live in the entire galaxy.
A side order of hashtag piss.
And they have a giant fucking half pyramid as their temple. Man. Unless they were there first. They put their roots down in Coruscant a long time ago, so they've been paid off. They own the real estate.
So in the grand scheme of things, the Jedi, like when in the prequels, that is the most political the Jedi have ever been, to my knowledge.
And they got
when we go back in time, they've always had Dantooine or the first Jedi Temple or whatever the fuck we're talking about.
What up, Travis Dunn?
Hey, we're talking about some shit, Star Wars. But think about it. So the Jedi have never been that political. They've never, and I don't know how long they've had a temple on Coruscant. But the fact that they like moved everything there for that time period is almost like a reason why they got corrupted and so political that they lost their own way. Like the fact that Luke is going away to the first Jedi temple to find himself and or set up a new Jedi order makes so much sense because it clearly didn't work next to the fucking pentagrams of pentagons in WashingtonOrder.com DC.
It is like DC. Yeah. And everything just got messed up when they tried to do it that way.
So I think there's something to say about like the Old Republic where like even during the Revan time where Dantooine, they have their own world where they can go and be their own thing. If they feel a need to get involved, they can. There's no political pressure to get involved because you're not a part of that shit. You're your own thing. And I think that even just being a part of the political landscape shined a light on them and put a lot of pressure on them. Like, hey, you guys have the power to stop this. Why the fuck aren't you? It's like, well, you can't say no now because you are the good guys.
Right.
So there, it could get real interesting, but J.J. Abrams is fucking this whole thing up. Kathleen Kennedy, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. I hate all the new stuff. I hate it.
Do you watch South Park?
No, I don't.
So I used to back in the day, and I've had multiple people telling me that I need to watch South Park and also Rick and Morty, which is on my list. And they both happen to be on Hulu, which I already have. So how convenient is that? So anyways, I went, I started South Park last year's season, which is season 20. I started at the beginning. If you've seen those memes about member, do you remember the member berries? Anyways, they make this joke about the national anthem, and they need to get J.J. Abrams hired to reboot the national anthem because he's the best thing at rebooting things and making us all feel like we're kids again and bringing back all the great... It's just a fucking joke about him rebooting Star Wars with The Force Awakens, where it's a new thing because it's episode 7, but it's all the shit that we know before, and we're all happy because we feel like kids again, even though some people are pissed. Oh, shit. I was going somewhere with that. And 11%. And I can't remember. Paul froze. Mobar. This is the first time we've had technical difficulties in a long time. I have to take a picture of this because it looks like Mopar is about to have a rebuttal and now he's just frozen. Mopar. Ah, shit. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Can you guys, is the stream still on? Can you see me? Oh, Mopar got kicked or something. All right. Yeah, it was dual me for a second. All right, let's see. Let's try to get this mofo back here. He didn't say anything. He just all of a sudden dropped. Oh, man. Mopar. Oh, wait. Let me try to remember where I was going with the J.J. Abrams South Park thing. Fuck. Mopar.
Hello.
Mopar.
What?
What happened?
I have no clue.
You're gone.
It said internet connection or something, but everything's fine.
Are you still on the call?
No, it like shut down.
Oh, well, yeah, I gotta reboot that Zoom shit, man.
I'm opening it up. Does I gotta fucking log in? Do you have a meeting code?
I emailed you a new one, yeah.
Yeah, I have no clue. Let me get back on. Hold on.
Okay. Classic. Okay, then. Boom. We'll go from there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we could just chat for a second. Mopar's internet sucks in PA? Yeah, it does. Am I liking the upgrade? What upgrade are you talking about? The phone? What you talking about? What upgrade? Oh, man. Wish I could find that picture of Snoke I was talking about. I like how I was in the middle of a fucking rant about South Park, and then he just disappeared. I thought he was stunned because I was making no sense, but his thing actually froze and he was gone. At least makes me feel a little bit. Oh, there he is.
Hello?
Mopar.
I don't know what happened.
You went away.
It just like froze.
I know, you went away.
Something must have been updating or something.
You did. She got pissed.
Triggered. Snoke was involved. I know it.
What's the last thing you heard?
I have no clue. I was talking and then you just went.
I finished a rant about South Park, and then I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh, yeah. I don't watch South Park. I know it's a good show. I just spend the time on it.
But did you
Are
hear
we
my
recording?
whole thing about JJ?
Are we recording?
Yes.
Hell yeah. What about JJ?
Did you hear my whole thing about JJ? That was the whole point.
About how he's ruining everything because it's the same thing, but it's different?
He's not ruining it. It's just funny because he's the master of the reboot.
Oh, yeah, because of Star Trek and everything.
Yeah, and Star Wars. And yeah, they have this whole joke. Everyone's protesting the national anthem, and we need to get J.J. Abrams in here to reboot the national anthem and make it great again.
God damn.
He needs to give us all the national anthem that we know and love, but something new. He's the king of the reboot. So that's all I was saying. Because you shouted something about J.J. Abrams ruining everything, and I was like, wait, he's not. It's not true. It's bullshit.
That's impossible.
No. Oh, man. What do you think Luke's going to say? First thing. Opening crawl, stars, pan down to Octo. Luke grabs
He's
the
going to say
lightsaber.
one word. He's going to say one word.
Shit.
Leave.
I thought when we first saw that trailer at Celebration, the first thing he said was breathe. I thought he said leave. The way it sounded, I thought he said leave. And I was like,
leave.
Yes. Like, leave me the fuck alone, girl. I don't want any of this shit.
Yeah.
Trying to get my dick wet on this island. Get the hell out of here. So, I don't know.
People are triggered about the fucking podcast getting all bubbly over here.
we haven't had technical difficulties in a while.
That's the first time I've ever had that. It was like, I was looking at my router. I'm like, it's fine. It just burped or something. Something reset.
Yeah. Travis Dunn mentioned that I got more, they upgraded my speed. So they mentioned when they switched over, Time Warner switched over to Spectrum, and then when they came and installed my new modem and stuff, they said, in a few months, all of a sudden your speed's going to get upgraded from 60 to 100 because we're upgrading everyone's lines. And then I checked the other day, and it was all of a sudden running at like 115 megs down and like 12 up. And I was very happy, and it seems to be going good.
Sweet, man. And that's kind of why I was confused and triggered there because
yeah, that's weird.
I actually pay it's for like a up to 100. I have yet to test it since I figured it out under like 115. That's exactly where it floats between.
Nice.
And as I say that, testing it now, 110. Yeah, 113. Nice. So, but yeah. Anyways, Internet Squad Pod over, and we're gonna get back into triggered fuck Avatar sequel Squad Pod because there are going to be 4 sequels, not just 1, not 2, not 3. We ain't talking 4 Avatar movies. We're talking about
5 total.
5 total. So we're talking 4 new movies. I am not going to see a single fucking one. I don't care. I've had enough of it. The first one I saw once and I laughed at it. I was like, this was the big thing. Like, okay, it's sparkly, but okay, he has sex with trees. Like, I don't give a damn. It's just.
Did he have sex with trees? I don't remember. You could tell me that and I would believe
it. No, he does. Like, and it was just like, just because it's like the most dynamically compromised sex with trees we've ever seen. Like, why is this something that we gotta do 4 more movies? Like, he hasn't fucked a bush yet. We'll do that in episode 2.
Revenge of the fucking alien sex.
Yeah, but that's what they were doing their like tail thing and like hooking up with the wildlife and trading sperms. I don't understand it. I've had enough of it. The first one was enough. I didn't get it. Done with my rant. What did you guys think? What did you think?
Well, it's Space Pocahontas.
Yes.
First of all, I don't remember much. I only saw it once. I didn't really care to see it again. Not because I hated it, but I just didn't. It wasn't like on my list of like, yeah, man, I really got to see that again. So, which is a bad thing in my book.
Nicole Serrano said JJ just rebooted Mopar.
Classic. Also, the amount of time he's taking to make these fuckers. The 5th one's not going to be out until 2100.
Well, and it's supposed to cost $1 billion. But I think that's for all of them, to be fair.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, James Cameron obviously is a good director. Like, Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all time.
What are some other like major things that he's done?
Titanic. Terminator 1 and 2. Let's pull it up.
It?
That's not it. I'm not a film buff. So
that's all he's done? That's all he's ever done?
Guaranteed, you heard it here first. That's all he's ever done. And that gave him the funds to do fucking $1 billion Avatar movie. Alien.
Oh, he did the Alien movies.
Jesus Christ, it's on IMDb. Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. Avatar 5 is slated for 2025.
I'm not going to even be alive then.
Isn't the fucking Earth think he is?
Earth's supposed to end like 2 weeks ago. Like, how are we going to make it to 2025?
Oh my God. Let me go back a little bit.
We got North Korea on our ass. We got the fucking empire coming around the corner. We ain't going to make it to 2025. That's why he's going for it. $1 billion. He said, I ain't going to be alive. Just give me the money up front and I'm going to make some movies.
He's just trying to get some press before the world blows up.
Yeah, this time he'll fucking apple tree, and we'll all.
Terminator. He did writing for Rambo 2 and Aliens. Terminator 1 and 2. Screenplay for True Lies. He did Titanic.
Episode 5,
Avatar
Strikes Back.
Yeah, I mean, he's done like, oh, that's the writing credits. Hang on, director. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a huge fucking docket, but it's all big stuff. Aliens was huge. Terminator 1 and 2. Titanic is one of the biggest movies ever.
I honestly love Titanic.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. And then Avatar.
Who did, no, it was Steven Spielberg. Never mind. I was going to ask Catch Me If You Can, which we actually watched this weekend. Let me tell you, if you are just a fan of actors,
you talked about that movie before. Yeah.
Tom Hanks in that movie and Leo play off each other, and Christopher Walken's in it.
Nice.
Dude, those three guys are fucking amazing in that movie, and they play off each other. It's like the opposite of like a douche chill moment. The entire thing is the opposite of douche chill. You're just like so captivated. It's about like there could be a scene about a father and son talking about, hey, what are we gonna have for dinner? We ain't having pancakes on my son's birthday, and I'm just like, I'm so captivated because it's Christopher Walken talking to Leo, and I fucking love it. Okay, time out, time in. James Cameron, get off the fucking set.
I think you're happy. I think you're happy pissed for the first time ever.
I'm trigger delighted.
Trigger delighted. Done. Fuck yeah, man. We're gonna have a colony on Mars before Avatar 5 comes out. That's the summary.
Wait, say that again?
We're gonna have a colony on Mars before Avatar 5 comes out.
Dude, you know how many
shit's gonna premiere at the fucking Mars Mountain Cineplex and a goddamn different planet.
You know how many years the podcast has been around if we keep going until 2025, and we could shit on it then too.
Avatar premiere, 11-year anniversary.
Mopar has 12 kids. I'm an executive at Disney.
12 kids is a lot for you to have in 8 years. Well. It's just nonstop children.
Oh shit.
So yeah, James Cameron is just in one of those unique situations where he like funds his own movies, so he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, as long as he wants for whatever.
But why?
Because that's his little vision. It's like Lucas making the original Star Wars. Except instead of having...
He didn't have $1 billion to do it.
I know. Instead of having no money and no connections and like making everything like kind of haphazard and pulling it together at the last minute, James Cameron's taking 30 years to make a half a movie.
Yeah. With all the money.
I don't know.
I'm done with that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I saw that today, right before we started recording, and I was like, this has to be a joke.
It's on IMDb.
Who's going to sit there and watch 4 more Avatar movies?
It's on IMDb.
I can't handle it.
It's there.
Let's quickly jump into the Han Solo images that Roy Rogers has been fucking.
So I want someone to listen back to the show and just nail every single word that you've purposely gotten wrong or made up.
What is his name? Ron Howard. It was close.
It was
Ron
not.
Howard.
You got the R right, and that is it.
I knew it started with an R though.
If you click that link there, it shows all the pictures that he's posted on Twitter, and he's posting a shit ton. I'm sure you've all seen. Oh my god, what just happened? Some of them from the Han Solo movie that's coming up. So since he took over, he's been posting, man, a picture like every day or every few days from the untitled Han Solo movie. And if you go just look at his profile on Twitter, you can see everything. Someone should make a page, just show everything that he's posted.
I completely agree.
That actually was not bad timing. No, Mopar's back with the beer. You ready to scroll through this?
Yeah, let's scroll through this. Wait,
click that link, open up Ron Howard's Twitter media page.
What link?
The link.
Where are we here? Ron Howard, Twitter, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you act like you don't know what's happening, even though you do. Fucking Roy Rogers.
Oh, I wasn't staring at that exact thing. Okay, here we go. Do I got to click on media or something?
Click on media. It should already be on media. But let's
Okay,
just scroll down. There's a bunch of pictures.
Okay, so we got had to say goodbye to my friend Paul_Bettany today after another terrific performance on set. He
You're way
looks
down
kind of
there.
dressed like Luke Skywalker there, or kind of ish.
I thought he kind of looked like Han.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, and then below that we've got like an upgraded retro steering wheel, which actually is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it looks like an arcade game, like that off-road arcade game.
Yeah,
so it's like inside of a speeder or something.
Yeah, that's what I would. A TC-18 or whatever the fuck Han or Jungle Boy gets mad at or whatever the fuck.
Jesus. Han and
Mowgli.
Jungle Boy. Yeah,
Mowgli.
totally. I'm going to post a link to this shit because I know that 99% of you fucks are listening and not watching, so you can't even understand what's happening. So I'm going to post you a link to some stuff. But Ron Howard's been posting pics frequently from the set, which we didn't really get to see with Force Awakens. Like, we kind of had to wait for those official Empire Magazine and Vanity Fair like magazine spreads, but like he's posting probably like something a day almost, it looks like.
So go down, it's August 18th. He has a 10-second video of something smoking.
Yeah.
It looks like just a piece of the set, but you see him like roll down into some like junk and shit.
Space debris.
That's cool how they have it like steaming. That's cool. All right.
It's like something got caught on fire. Got some pictures of
I think
Chewbacca.
I'm excited because I think he has a straight vision and he knows what he wants. He's not just throwing a movie together. I feel like he is so driven and knows exactly how he wants stuff, how it's going to be said, how it's going to be shot.
Everything he puts. So I'm not a big like Ron Howard buff, and I don't even know if I've seen every single thing of his that he's done. But I could just tell from the way that he operates. It's like you just said, like he has a vision for things. Like everything he does is always extremely well produced. Even if it's not the biggest blockbuster in the world, it's always like a really well-made movie. Well produced, well thought out, well written.
Well, and you got to think like he started as Opie when he was like fucking 4 years old. Like he's been around this industry his entire life. If there's anyone that knows how to do this shit, it's him.
Yeah. And as I always famously note, he's the narrator in Arrested Development, which I love. So, if you scroll down,
he just knows how stuff works. Yeah.
If you go to August 16th, you can see it looks like the Death Star troopers' big, obnoxious black helmet sitting on an Imperial console of some sort.
Yeah.
You think? All right. So based on this picture alone, we haven't really talked about the Han Solo movie except for the director thing. Based on that picture, do you think the whole backstory of him used to be an Imperial stormtrooper and quit and became a smuggler? Do you think that has any relevance still?
I think there's strong relevance because I think that is one, a huge selling point and a great story of how him and Chewie met. And it gives so much relevance to where they are. And then it gives so much backstory to like Chewie's feeling when Han dies. Like it builds upon what we already know is a great relationship and what we've seen, but we don't know where it came from. So it's almost like a prequel to Han's life,
right?
And what we've already seen. So yeah, absolutely, I think that could work perfectly because he gets put in like bad situations. But the only thing I have to say against that is we're running into like a Finn thing right now, where okay, I was sent to do something bad. I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna save this furry bitch because he's the biggest thing. He can provide like cover for me. So I'm gonna get out of here. Actually, he's kind of cool. Let's start drinking some galactic ales and moving out of here. Let's get a fast ship. Fuck it.
I think it. Yes, his relationship with Chewie obviously is going to be in the mix, but I think if he was an Imperial, an interesting arc for him is he's involved with the Empire. He quits because he thinks it's fucked. Becomes a smuggler, and by the time he meets Kenobi and Luke, he's purposely trying to stay the fuck away from that because he knows how much of a hassle it is. And he gradually gets wrapped back up into the bullshit and the drama of the Empire and the rebellion, even though he knows he's been there before and he doesn't want to be stuck in that shit. He just happens to be there anyways.
It almost legitimizes his decision to actually come back and help them because he knows like what it's all about.
Yes, and if we've learned anything from Rogue One as a prequel, making the subsequent movies even more impactful, it's not a bad play for them.
Like you said, it's very, very weird to have Death Star shit.
It's literally the
movie.
Death Star Trooper's helmet. Yeah. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. There's a.
I know. I'm excited. If that's where they're going with it, I'm really truly excited because 1, that's pulling Legends. 2, it makes fucking sense, and 3, it makes everything else better. So yes, do it.
Oh man, yeah. It's gonna be great no matter what. I love it. I'm excited. Just I don't know. Sometimes I get a little too excited. And 2, just like, I want everything Star Wars, so give me all of it, and I don't care. And that's not the best thing to do, but I'm fucking geeked for this shit.
With everything, with that all said, I am still more worried about the Han Solo movie than any of the other movies so far. Obviously, because of all the issues they've had, with all the changes they've had, with the fucking acting lessons that they got to go through. They got to teach... They got to teach Chewbacca how to fucking have a French accent and shit, and it's getting fucking weird. But in Roy Rogers We Trust, or Ron Howard. What the fuck?
Howard. He also posted a picture that looks like the spice mines of Kessel, which could play into the fact of us seeing the Kessel Run on screen. I don't know if you saw that one. So if you scroll up to September 20, the caption says spicy, and it looks like a mine shaft.
Yeah.
So spice mines of Kessel Run, 12 parsecs. I think we're gonna see it.
You know, I have a feeling just as a reference point, they're gonna do the Kessel Run, but it's not gonna be like people do the Kessel Run as a race. I have a feeling that he's actually going to be running from someone and actually do the Kessel Run in less than everybody's done it because he's running for his goddamn life. It's going to be something stupid and weird like that, but it makes sense.
Like they have to make shipments from point A to B, and they always make it in this time, but Han Solo blows them all away because he's about to get blasted into oblivion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And in episode 7, when I was really trying to pay attention to dialogue last time I watched it to see like what they're saying, how they're saying it, why they're saying it, what's going on. And there's many mentions to like the person who owned this thing really knew what they were doing with like all these upgrades, like these YT freighters or whatever the fuck the thing is. They're all just like, this is supposed to be junk. But when Rey jumps on it and she starts looking around and starts turning shit on, she's like, what the fuck is all of this? Like, this is not standard. Like, we're going to get the fuck out of here. Let's do this. So,
like, it wasn't supposed to be that awesome of a ship, but he made a lot
that's
of special
why she said it was garbage.
Himself.
Because in a general sense, it is garbage and it won't get out of it its own way. But Han Solo knows a guy who can get Hemis for free. So let's do it.
Install that fucking Hemi in there.
Hemi hyperdrive.
Yeah. So yeah, everything I'm seeing from Roy Howard is making me excited for the movie, and I'm especially geeked that we don't have to wait that long for it. We're gonna get The Last Jedi, and then we got 5 months, and then we're gonna see Han Solo. And then,
I guarantee you they're gonna bump it back, man. That's impossible.
And then we have the longest wait of all time. I shouldn't say that because we were in the prequel era, but we have the longest wait that we're gonna have for a while is from May 2018 until December 2019 for Episode 9. That's gonna be rough.
Wow. Yeah, because we're not getting anything next year later on, Christmas time.
Yeah, because they confirmed that they're not bumping Han Solo back, and they did bump Episode 9 back because they wanted to switch everything back to the May release dates. So they switched Han, and then Episode 9 was supposed to be May 2019, and then what the director changed, and now JJ's back, they pushed that to December. So now we're back on a December schedule. So yeah, we're gonna have quite a long stretch.
So what's the release date of the teaser for 8 now? Where are we at now with the trailer?
Next Monday, October 9th, during Monday Night Football, supposedly at halftime, because obviously a trailer is going to be, anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes long. So they need the extra time for commercials. So, but yeah, so it's supposed to be soon. 8 freaking days, man. We got the Battlefront 2 beta and the episode 8 trailer. It's going to be an exciting 2 weeks. We're going to be watching that shit, breaking it down and analyzing everything.
It's an exciting movie.
Ooh.
And we heard
recently that the running time for episode 8 is supposed to be 150 minutes, which is 2.5 hours, which is the longest Star Wars movie we've ever seen. PG-13, 2.5 hours.
Jesus, why isn't it just R? Someone needs to say out of order, fuck, and get it over. It's
not going to happen. The same way we're never going to get any recognition from Lucasfilm or Disney is because they got to do the kid stuff, man. We drink too much.
I'm going to drink. Cheers to that.
That's a cheers.
Okay.
I'm out, but fake cheers.
What else we got on the good old shit? I lost. Here, I'll try to bring it back up. Star Wars.
The last big thing that you had was the list of Star Wars games.
Yeah, I had a list, and then obviously my internet just burped. So
that's the best way to put that ever. Oh, that's hilarious.
Best Star Wars games. Let me put in the number 50 because that was what I was looking at. Here it is. So I came across a list. I always like lists because one, it's which we may need to get into because it's someone's opinion. It's someone's hard opinion. They ranked shit, and when you do that, you really start playing with people's emotions because your number 50th ranked Star Wars game might have been the one that someone got into, and that's the reason why Star Wars is a big thing in their life.
It's why timing and nostalgia is so important.
Yeah, and that's why the prequels suck and the original trilogy is awesome because fuck that. I didn't grow up yet. I'm old. So what I was actually going to do, I was going to do the bottom 10 and then the top 10 because I was looking at this shit and the bottom 10 is just as interesting as the top 10.
I have to imagine there's a lot. I didn't know there was 50 Star Wars games. If you asked me, I would have guessed 20 tops.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guarantee there's a lot in here. And maybe they include all the Lego Star Wars games, but there's probably a lot in here that I have never heard of.
I will tell you that there are Lego Star Wars in here. But between the PC games, there's a lot more than you think. So okay, let me run through this. So the first so number 50, so the last on the list, they're saying this is a bad game. The paragraph here says, if someone told you there was a Mortal Kombat game in the Star Wars universe, wouldn't you buy it? There is a versus game called Master of Terrace Cassie. It's a shining example of how poor execution can result in the worst game you've ever played. I watched a little YouTube video. It's atrocious. There's hand-to-hand combat between Boba Fett and Vader.
So Jason Boyd actually used to have this game for PlayStation, and I remember playing it. And it was
really I've never seen it.
Literally just it's Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter with Star Wars characters. And that was it. I remember actually liking it a lot, but I was also PlayStation. I mean, I was also 12, so I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
Do you want me to share my screen so you can see the list that I'm looking at?
I'm on the same list.
Okay, cool. Moving down to number 49. Star Wars Yoda Stories for Game Boy Color. During this game, Luke Skywalker must train with Yoda on the planet Dagobah, but instead of some cool training challenges, Yoda sends Luke on missions to other planets to do stupid tasks that seem like busy work. The game level structures is really out of sync and confusing, and the animation graphics are some of the worst on the Game Boy Color. A horrible, terrible, no good game that I hope you've never played. So it looks like an aerial view, almost similar like a Zelda game.
Yeah, it's classic like overhead Game Boy game.
But I'm just picturing like, hey, go pick up like my Sith laundry on this planet. So you got to go and like fight people off to get his like jock strap and shit off of like Dantooine.
His jock strap.
His training jock strap.
Yeah, it looks like the worst Zelda game you've ever played.
Yeah, very, very, and they do have a point. Like, even though Game Boy Color graphics are like bad, that looks really bad. Like that is 10 years before Game Boy Color bad. Yeah, it does look it does look pretty atrocious. Now the next one, 48, is a very interesting, just terrible idea. So Kinect Star Wars for the Xbox 360 is a dancing Star Wars game. Now, I will share my screen so the people can can you add it later, or do you want me to?
You can share it.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here because I want you guys to be able to watch this atrocious thing called a fucking video. I was offended when I saw this. Oh, let's play this.
I'm so excited. Oh my God, Vader's like getting ready.
It's douche chills already. He's walking into a goddamn party already.
Oh my God.
Guys.
I can't handle it.
R2's freaking out.
Why would they ever do that?
And they even have like named moves. So this is the Jedi dodge, the Jedi dodge, the Camino wave.
How fucking embarrassing would it be to have been on that development team? Like, your task
here we go.
for this month
the TK421.
Great. Your task for this month is to name all of these Jedi dance moves that we have to do. That's so fucked, man. So sometimes, like, there is one thing that people have complained about Disney owning Star Wars. I think this was slightly before Disney had Star Wars. But one thing that people have complained about that's legit is like the over commercialization of things, which I understand. And we've seen before those fucking BB-8 oranges. And I saw a Porg fucking toilet seat today on Twitter. Like, there are some things where they go a little bit too far. And
it's just
fact
ridiculous
that Darth Vader is doing dance moves called the TK421 just makes me want to force choke somebody.
We're moving on. 47, Star Wars Obi-Wan for Xbox. I have never even heard of this game. They don't even have a teaser for it. Much like the Star Wars prequels, Obi-Wan deserved better than this game. Ooh, they're already taking shots.
I've seen the
seen
cover.
Gameplay?
No, I've seen the cover, but I haven't seen gameplay. And this video that they have here is unavailable. So,
all right, we'll just move right on.
No idea.
I don't know. I would
shit.
like to tell more, but moving on. 46 is Star Wars Flight of the Falcon. It's for Game Boy Advance. I always call it advanced, like it's advanced.
yeah, it's the
It's
next
not
one.
Game Boy Advance. It's Game Boy Advanced because it's been advanced from its fucking previous. Shut the fuck. Okay. When you're talking horrible Star Wars games, it's difficult to leave out Flight of the Falcon for Game Boy Advance. In all honesty, there weren't really any good Star Wars titles on Game Boy Advance, but this one is exceptionally bad. The story takes place during the original movies. This aerial attack game had the longest levels you could ever imagine, horrible gameplay, and horrible graphics. You can see the picture of it. Like, it looks like a loading screen or like the title screen for the game.
I'm
It's
watching
like
some of the video right now. Jesus.
I gotta play it too.
That's bad. Oh my gosh. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh wow, yeah, that's atrocious. It's got terrible graphics. They weren't joking. Like that's Galaga like bad. Like it's a 3D Galaga. They didn't do anything upgrading anything. You can go like, wow. I'm speechless. That's bad. I'm moving on. I can't look at that any longer.
speechless. Oh my God. The fucking towers on the Death Star trench run look like forts from Age of Empires. All right, I'm done.
Jesus.
I've had enough. Maybe we should
I think
skip ahead a little bit.
I was just going to say this. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So those were the bottom 5. So not everything Star Wars is amazing.
That happens.
It happens.
Let me hit on a few as we scroll up towards the top, though. Force Unleashed 2 is number 40.
I don't want you to do that because I want to go through the top 10 and not have you spoiled to see what's not in the top 10.
Okay. I'm forced not spoiling myself.
So moving on to
all right,
number 10, Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader. So I know there was a Rogue Squadron for
N64.
N64. So this must have been the sequel to it, Rogue Squadron 2,
for
Rogue
GameCube.
Leader for GameCube. I'm surprised. I've never played this game. I actually didn't mind the first one. It was actually a very playable, fun game.
I know everyone raves about Rogue Squadron for the 64. I have never been good at flying games ever, so I just never really played it. I own it. I have it because it's a Star Wars game, and it has our name on it too. I just never play it. I've been terrible at flying games forever.
It was if I had to put it into a basket, it would be what am I trying to say? Star Fox. It was Star Fox Star Wars. That's exactly what it was. It was the same flight pattern. It was the same. They just put Star Wars stuff over it. But with that said, Star Fox was awesome. It was groundbreaking. So I understand. I've never played that one, but I understand. Moving on to number 9, Star Wars Trilogy. It was an arcade game. So this is very unique because I have never heard of this. And I think that might be bad on my part.
Neither have I. I never really was into the arcade though either.
Yeah, I'm going to read this. This is a game for which you make a special trip to the arcade and bring your laundry money. Each part of the game is a lot of fun and full of high energy that really utilizes each vehicle from the original trilogy, including the speeder bike and the snow speeder on Hoth. At the end, you fight in a lightsaber duel with Darth Vader, add a little extra to it, and put a black glove on your right hand to make it more realistic. It doesn't really even say too much about the game. I'm going to look at some quick gameplay here.
Yeah, I'm seeing the trench run.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I'm looking at.
First-person cockpit kind of thing. And you can.
So I'm wondering if it has like an actual gun that you're like aiming.
Yeah, probably like a joystick that you hold like you're in the cockpit. But yeah,
Okay.
it just looks like it goes through a few classic parts of Star Wars. I see Hoth, I see Endor, I see the trench run. And then, yeah, you fight with Darth Vader at the end. It looks like Luke and Vader at the end of 6. And you're just like moving your lightsaber at the right time. Looks a little silly. I don't know how this could be ranked number 9, but that's great.
Yeah, it must have just been a cult classic. But moving on. Number 8, obviously the first Battlefront for Xbox and PlayStation 2. This one speaks for itself. Well, at least for us. This was one of the very first games that really got us back into Star Wars gaming.
I could barely... Do you remember the first time we saw that game?
No.
So, about to give you a fucking throwback retro nonsense right here. So we were at one of the classic poker parties at our friend Sean's place in Grand River.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And our boy Kevin, who used to pronounce Palpatine's name Darth Sidious by mistake.
That's why we're not friends with him
rolls in with an Xbox and a copy of Battlefront, which we had never played before. And he throws the shit on the screen. We go the Hoth battle, and we're seeing walkers, and we're just like, this is Star Wars Call of Duty, where this has been our whole lives. That was like a game-changing moment for us. That like
Life-changing.
Life-changing, universe, galactic changing. That got us back into Star Wars, man. Yeah, I remember that vividly. And then I do remember the next year, the day after Halloween, me and you and Iker were at GameStop at 9:55 a.m. ready for Battlefront 2 to get it the morning that it came out.
That was we skipped school for that, didn't we?
Yeah. We left school early for Halloween, and then we partied all night, and then we skipped school the next day to get Battlefront 2 and play it all day. And we found that assault mode on Mos Eisley, and just it was over at that point. Fuck,
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
Battlefront just like knocked it out of the park. That was
The first one, for how like game changing or whatever changing it was. It is still somewhat glitchy. It's not as smooth, and they fixed all that with Battlefront 2. So, but it was just one of those things that it just kind of set the plane, and you're just like, dude, they can do this. Look at I didn't know there could be an all-out war in the Star Wars universe. They're just gonna throw 50 of us out there, and they're just gonna be like, dude, win.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. Moving on, number 7, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, that's one we gotta talk about.
So I started the Jedi Knight series with, it was the second one. So not Dark Forces 2, which was like the Jedi Knight 1. So there was 2 under the Jedi Knight 1 title, or whatever you want to say. And then there was 2 under, I believe, the Jedi Knight 2, Outcast and Academy. This game was surprisingly great. I started with the first one. I was Kyle Katarn. I thought he was a little bit of a bitch. The game was kind of glitchy, and it was more of a shoot 'em up. It was a first-person shooter, but it was more of a shoot 'em up game, and the guns were very, very strong in that game. So you never really whipped out your lightsaber until you had to. Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcasts really fixed that. They focused on the lightsaber, and you really start getting into the force power side of stuff, and the way you could apply it. And it was a much smoother game, and it challenged you in many different ways. It was I really truly, and to this day I'll play this game. It's exciting. It's cool. The only downside is you are fighting a Sith dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Dasan is just he's a T-Rex with a human body.
Jesus. Not cool.
It's like if they just put a mask on him, it would have been a completely different game. But they had to give him a fucking dinosaur head. Just like in the Clone Wars cartoon when they had a general who was a shark. I'm like, I quit. I'm going home. I can't handle that stupid shit.
The shark general. Yeah, there's some fucking dumb stuff.
So I'm actually very happy and excited to see it, even at 7. You know, for it to even get close to the top 5, I'm happy with that. It's a good game.
I hear people raving about Jedi Outcast all the time,
and it's cool. And I think they might even be overdoing it with that screenshot there, where Kyle Katarn's lightsaber is kind of scratching the environment. That happens in the game, and I think that was one of the big things. You'll leave marks. So it was kind of like an environmental reaction thing too. The very first ones of that.
That's awesome.
We're moving quickly on. All right, guys. Number 6, Knights of the Old Republic 2. There's obvious reasons it's in the top fucking 6. The bad part of this game is that it was a rush to market. Its third act was left unfinished and unfulfilling. Now, I have never gotten to the third act. So I just need to break down and play the whole fucking game and just tough it out.
I've heard from a lot of people that they did expand on a lot of the controls and the force powers and like the way you level up and the abilities and things. So it is somewhat better in those ways. But one, it's hard to beat. It's near impossible to beat the story of Revan. It's like it's going to be hard to top that. And then like it said in the first line, a rush to market. The story wasn't as complete as it could have been.
Yeah, have you finished the game?
No, I haven't beat the second one.
Really, man? We're gonna have to sit down and just both of us are gonna have to pile through that. Maybe by the end of this year, you and I can make that happen. But
as soon as the one is backwards compatible for original Xbox, I'm on it. I've been waiting to play that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Moving on. So we're getting into the top 5 here. We're getting into interesting stuff. Okay.
Stuff I never
Star
heard of
Wars
before.
Battle Pod. I'm definitely clicking on this shit because I don't know what that is. They better have gameplay. Oh, wow.
Oh, is this one where you're inside the fucking... Like, it's one of the arcade games that has the giant container that you actually sit inside? Oh, that was pretty sweet.
No, that makes sense. It's like a first-person shooter, except you're in a ship. Classic arcade game. No, it looks great. It looks fun because you're constantly all over the place and there's new shit in front of you.
Yeah,
and it looks like a combo game.
Like a curved screen is in front of you, And just like it says, battle pod, like you're in this pod. It's pretty intense, man. It actually
Mission
says
alert, destroy the exhaust port.
nice.
So we're getting into the trench run here.
Oh,
Okay,
there's some
okay.
shots from Hoth, man. This is pretty intense. So yeah, it says here that it's the latest Star Wars arcade game. It's only available in certain areas. There's actually a locator page to find one at an arcade that you can play.
Also, it's that new.
So yeah, so it's kind of like that Star Wars arcade game that we were talking about early on, but just newer and much fucking better.
New better or
Much better. Just
do
wanna see if
some
there's
live
one
streaming.
close.
Oh, they want to see this game, huh?
no, they want to see us play KOTOR.
Oh, yeah, that ain't happening because I ain't fucking around. Moving on.
Not right now, but it'll be happening.
Battlefront 2. Obviously, we just got done singing the praises of the first one. The second one are very obvious. It's for PlayStation 2 PSP, which is actually quite that's notable information, because to be able to play Battlefront 2 on a fucking handheld game is astounding. And I remember we were playing it in like chemistry class or aiding for a teacher.
I just remember that because somebody posted a meme and it was like this kid in class with a clone helmet on and like his folder was up on his desk so you couldn't see what he was doing. And it was like when the teacher thinks you're studying, but you're actually capturing a command post. It just had the fucking thing. And I was like, dude, we literally were doing that on the PSP. Trading off, just like making runs on fucking Naboo and Camino and shit.
I mean, I kind of missed my PSP. It was a cool little thing. And with the dual, no, did it have two joysticks? No, it only had one.
I think it had two. I think it had two.
It was a very playable game for how big of a game that was. It was actually quite playable. It was a little difficult, but still very playable on the PSP.
Surprisingly.
Like we've already announced with the new Battlefront 2, just squads and better graphics, and let's fucking make it happen. Just do this, but better.
Yes.
So we're pretty excited.
And we've talked about Battlefront 2 a million fucking times. So.
Oh yeah. Lego Star Wars series. So they're talking about pretty much everything. Actually, have you ever played the Lego Star Wars or any Lego?
No, but Travis always gets all of them, like all the Lego Star Wars and Harry Potter and things like that. He likes them a lot.
They are very playable. They're a little more like puzzle-y things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really straightforward. They're easy to play. They're fun. I don't know about number 3, but fair enough. I'll take it. Number 2, Star Wars arcade game.
This is the original, the wireframe one. They have this. I remember we played this at 16-bit a few years ago. That's the first time I had ever seen it. But yeah, if you play the video, you'll be able to see it's actually really fucking confusing to watch because it's all just like everything is just wireframe shape. Nothing's like colored in. So when you get into the mix of it and there's like a million TIE fighters coming at you, it's actually really fucking hard to see. But yeah, you're just in an X-Wing and you just fly in. You're like, it's just the trench run over and over again. So you approach, you got to kill a bunch of TIE fighters on the way, and then you get into the trench run. You got to evade the turrets and blow things up, and then...
Yeah, the little spot that I must be in a trench right now, but there's just like towers jumping up in front of me. Yeah. And it's not even like a trench. It's literally just like, it looks like Washington monuments just jumping up at my face.
It kind of does, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it was 83. The first Star Wars arcade game introduced in 83. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you could do back then, but it's a smooth game. It's just confusing as hell because it's all wires and stuff.
Yeah, and this must be just nostalgia. But it does look smooth, like you said, and it looks pretty simple outside of the everything's wireframe, which... That's funny because I've never heard that called that, but that's exactly what it is. Nothing's colored in.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Moving on. Dun, dun, dun. Obviously.
Number
we're
one,
fucking happy.
You knew it.
We're fucking happy. Obviously, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. Drew Karpyshyn, man, on a mission who fucking completes my
fucking number one position.
Number one position. Big obvious reasons. It was this, and we've said this before, but the first time we saw this game, I remember we were at FYE in Great Lakes Mall.
Was it FYE or was it Best Buy? I thought it was Best Buy.
No, it was FYE. I remember specifically. They had it in the corner, and I was like, "Why is this here?" And you and I looked at each other like, "Oh, a new Star Wars game." And we looked at it, and it was like the opposite of an action game, and we're like, "This is the worst game ever." And then I forget what happened. One of us got it, or someone got it, and we started playing it. And we're like, "This is the best game ever." And then obviously you get into the plot and the whole big twist, and you're just like, my life is. I know nothing. I'm like Jon Snow over here.
I do remember we were kind of pissed at first because we didn't understand quite how the RPG thing worked, and we were and we had no idea about the plot. So you obviously don't know that you're going to be a Jedi at some point. So we played the first few playthroughs only with blasters and trying to figure out what the hell was going on and why we were so terrible at the game. But come to find out, it's fucking hard to play when you're using blasters only. You gotta switch. And then once you find out you're a Jedi, obviously you want to start the game using swords and melee weapons so you can be better with your lightsaber. And then from there, it was great.
And it's a what is it? Dice roll game. What do you call that? RPG. Turntable game.
Not a turntable game.
Kind of. You select your shit and then they get to attack, and it's loosely based on it. Turn-based. A turn-based game where you select your stuff, you attack, and then you get to fight, and you go back and forth. It's not a loosely attack-based game like a Mass Effect where you actually get to shoot whenever you want.
You
so that can be a big hurdle to jump, but overall, I will almost say that the story, and I don't mean anything bad outside of this, the story carries the whole fucking thing. The graphics really aren't that great. It wasn't that game changing, but you get to go to cool.
They're really good.
I don't mean anything by that. I'm just saying they weren't groundbreaking.
2003,
but you do get to explore new planets, which is fucking cool. You get an entire new story in a era that you've never even heard about. So all of that, you get to see ancient Sith, you get to see like Sith ghosts and start interacting with them and learning more about like what the Force, like potential like Force plague. That's an awesome fucking thing. Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
Force kill.
Force I win the game.
Force kill or Force death? No, it was
Force kill.
Because it was choke something and then kill.
Choke, and then kill.
Fuck around and die.
Fucking
I'm glad that's number one. Nothing else deserves.
No, that's what it was. One. Force wound, choke, kill.
Yes. Correct.
Force injury. That's where you start.
Yeah.
Force paper cut.
Fucking break your elbow.
Force paper cut. All right.
I'm glad that is number one, man. There's nothing else that I could picture. And then soon, hopefully, Battlefront 2, the new Battlefront 2 will be number one. Maybe. I could see it, possibly. But
I hope it doesn't. I hope it does break into the top fucking 10. I don't think it will.
I think it will.
Force fuck those people up.
Well, motherfuckers.
Well, 118 down in the fucking drain with it and Pennywise. We're done.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. This has been a great episode. Been a lot of fun. Not as outrageous and ridiculous as last week, which was a lot of fun, just in a different way. Motherfucking Lord Kerner in the house, balls deep. Balls deep. Crazy. We got some.
We're trying to do more and more highlight videos of different conversations, different crazy stuff. It's a lot of work, so we're gonna keep plugging at it. But if you guys want, you guys can head over to YouTube and you can catch all of our highlight stuff. Hopefully that stuff will start to translate into like Instagram posts and that sort as well. But if you just want to get it all, fucking YouTube, bitch.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed on iTunes and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Remember, we have a Captain Rex Black Series giveaway. This motherfucker right here may or may not be promised to Scradota Jones, but we'll see how that plays out. We're doing a giveaway of that, so tune in next week. We'll be live Sunday night, October 8th. Make sure you're on YouTube. You got to be live to win it, and we will send this.
You got to be alive and alive.
Be live and alive and with us, and yep. And
More than most of it.
We'll send you this motherfucking new Black Series exclusive. So, oh, note to our Patreon people that are already signed up for Patreon. Make sure you get the app and log in and turn the notifications on, because we've been sending you some shit and I don't think you've been seeing it, because only like 2 people have been seeing the shit. So you're missing out on some of the stuff that you're paying your money for. So make sure you get the Patreon thing and log in so you can see all the extra goodness. And yeah, that's about it.
Patreon is a thing. We're going to say it again.
It's a real thing.
Patreon.com/Rogue Squad Pod. A couple Dat Terrys here, a couple Dat Terrys there. Would go a long way. We appreciate everybody. 1 out of fucking 100 for my beer because it was expired.
Yep, 1 out of 3 for mine because it was 37%.
So we've had enough of it, and we're going to end it there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Don't do it.
Done recording.
All right, guys.
Just popped in. We're ending the show right now, but just subscribe to our YouTube and follow. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, because we'll be giving information about the giveaway. And then just make sure you're live on the show next week.
Where are you seeing that on? Where are you seeing him on?
He's on Twitch.
I don't get any of that. Well, because I'm on the YouTube feed.
Yeah, so that chat is actually working today. So I can see everything is combined into one thing.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, bitches. That's about it.
That's all we got done.
Internet upgrade seems to be working good. I got 0 drop frames that entire time. Fuck yeah. I think it's better quality too. All right, hoes.